Sotero, YouTube content creator. Welcome back to my science world and to my health science vlogs. Okay, so actually I did not take yet my dinner. Okay, but I drink low-fat milk already and apple, grapes, something. I need to eat a little bit of carbo. Okay, something like that to balance a little bit. Okay, so but before that, I need to discuss about vitamin D. Oh my gosh. What is the main function of vitamin D? Oh my gosh. Main function. Okay. Main function. Okay, the main function of vitamin D is for the bone health. Okay, bone health. Okay, like this bone health and remodeling of the structural parts of the bone to make it healthy, something like that. Okay. What else? So you can make another statements, but as long as it's related to the bone. Okay, health. Things like that. Okay, then number 2, it will increase the absorption of calcium. Okay, increase absorption of calcium and phosphate. Okay, ganon. Of Ca positive 2 and phosphate PO4 negative 2. An ion and cation, right? Okay, so the purpose of this is to have a proper cell growth, tissues, muscles, like that. Okay, that's gonna be like that. Okay, what else mga palangga kong hitag? So also the calcium homeostasis. Okay guys, did you familiarize the word homeostasis? Homeostasis. Homeostasis. Okay. Okay, like the homeostasis. Okay, it has to do something with the brain function. It's you can remember found in the cerebrum vortex. It has to do something with the hypothalamus. Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? It's gonna be like that, okay? Homeostasis, meaning this is the job of, I think so, the hypothalamus or the posterior pituitary gland. Because they are very near with each other. The posterior pituitary gland and the, and the hypothalamus. Okay? That's the point. So, homeostasis meaning, this is gonna be the state of balance of our vital organ health. Organs. So meaning that the total, all kinds of vital organs, if that is keeping in balance all, in receiving the nutrients, vitamins, everything also that is called homeostasis. So every individual must maintain the homeostasis because if the homeostasis is imbalanced, so there's problem of the different substances in that particular vital organs. So it should be homeostasis. In this situation, the calcium is needed to achieve homeostasis in the healthy of the bone. Okay? You get the point? So, there's a description. As long as we know that this homeostasis is a general statement that keeping our body's health into the state of balance. But since there is a description calcium, so this is the calcium to be balanced in order we have a healthy bone through inputting and intaking vitamin D in our system. Okay, it's gonna be like that. Okay, what else? Another main function of vitamin D. So we have also to prevent or help prevent, okay, cancer. Okay, to reduce inflammation. Nakakaloka. Okay, like that. To reduce the risk of CVDs, cardiovascular diseases, and type 2 diabetes or diabetes mellitus. Okay? And the last will be lowers blood pressure. Okay. So these are the secondary function. Okay, attributed to this intake of vitamin D. But the main function for the bone health. But take note, it's also useful, right? So if you have less of vitamin D, so we are far from diseases. Because take note, all about cancers, cardiovascular diseases, lower the risk of the So meaning to say, that's why vitamin D is rich in omega-3 fats because it's related to cardiovascular or meaning the heart or the coronary, okay, circulatory system, something like that, okay? You got the point? Things like that. So very clear, ha? Okay, for the bone health, increased absorption of calcium and phosphate. Okay, for the cell growth, for the tissues and muscles, like that. Calcium homeostasis, okay, and metabolism, the balance, the state of balance to have a healthy bone. And then to fight cancer, to help fight cancer, to help reduce inflammation of the plasma membrane, okay, to reduce the risk of cardiovascular diseases or the type 2 diabetes or what we call diabetes mellitus, okay, and then to lowers the risk, what's this? Hindi ko makita siya. Okay, to lowers the risk of high blood pressure. So, if you have higher level of vitamin D, so you are far from heart attack because it's here in the secondary function. You get the point? So, since heart attack is a silent killer, so better fortify yourself with vitamin D. Okay, as I told you, eggs, liver, okay, you get the point? Tulanta mo fatty fish, like that, avocado, the nuts, like the chupa-chuchu. Okay, you get the point? Mga palangkong and the cruciferous vegetables. The spinach, okay, the broccoli, the cauliflower, okay, things like that. Okay, so ganon. And the soybean, soy milk, the cow's milk, ganon. Then the mushroom with UV exposure, and then the sunshine. Okay, because sunshine is the major component of vitamin D, not the food. Okay, you get the food. So the higher vitamin D is coming from the sun. Let's make this a clear clarity, not the food. Okay, you get the point? So things like that. Okay, so really? So if that is one of the function of the vitamin D, then why you say if you expose too much to the sun, it can cause skin cancer. In fact, it's helped to fight cancer. And skin cancer is an example, one type of the cancer. So it is a false statement, right? So it is not true that when you expose on the sun, you can develop skin cancer. Maybe you have a history of skin diseases in the past that it's driven to skin cancer. But if you are a healthy person without a history of skin diseases and disorders, then you don't have cancer in the skin, because as the secondary function of vitamin D, it helps prevent cancer, meaning general, any kinds of cancer. Right? So, dili siya mapasok sa banga. So, it doesn't jive. It doesn't match to the secondary function of vitamin D. So, meaning to say, that's only superstitious belief. But then again, unless you have history of skin diseases and disorders in the past, that's why if you keep on exposure of the sun too much, you will develop skin cancer. But it is not the main cause why you develop skin cancer because of the heat of the sun. Okay, you get the point? Things like that. Okay, ganon. Okay, then estimate also the miles, the distance of the heat of the sun going to the earth. Okay? Guys, the sun maintains the heating and cooling process of the planet Earth. So the specific heat capacity of the sun has been regulated. That's why we have condensation. Okay, that's why rain will come in. Because there's a condensation process, evaporation process, and the cycle will be like that. That's why we have the clouds. And after the clouds will be full, something like that, okay, it will convert to rain. So things like that. So it has been regulated inherently. That even though the sun is very hot, it cannot burn the people in the planet Earth because it has been regulated to the exact or the right amount of specific heat capacity delivered by the sun to the creatures in the planet Earth, in the all forms of living organisms. That's why even though the insects will not die, imagine the insects are very small, why they will not die in the heat of the sun? Okay, because it has been regulated, okay, naturally. The all living forms in the planet Earth can sustain in the heat of the sun because the specific heat capacity of the sun has been maintained to its adequate level necessary for all living organisms to survive. Okay, that's very clear. Okay, any question? Nothing, right? Okay, go back to the main functions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So So, I already discussed the food to eat, right? So, we need to go back again. Okay, now we go to the structural chemical form. Not structural, the general chemical formula. Okay, something like that. Okay, and then after this, we go to the epidemiology. The diseases develop when we have this or we have less like this. Okay, we got the point. Anak-anak siya. Okay, anak mga palangga kong hitad. Okay, but I forgot also the neuro, but I think this is the tertiary function only. The neuro also, neuromuscular functions also, and the immuno-functions also part of vitamin D. Sometimes we don't have to be, to be specific. As long as we know, parang igano na ba, because it's healthy, then pasok sa banga, we don't have to be specified. This is only for vlogging, that's why. Okay, but if we know already generally that it is healthy, no need to, to understand everything, whatever. Okay, as long as we know that this is very good to the health, we don't have to be particular. We don't have to be specific, but since this is vlogging, we need to illustrate so that we can have an idea really regarding specifics. Because we need to choose the right food to eat. So how can you choose if there are no specifics to consider or no criteria as your basis what type of food or drinks you have to eat? So that's the time we need to be particular. But generally, we don't have to do that all the time. Okay, that's the point. Okay, so our level of vitamin D intake for adult is 4,000 international units. IU. If you see IU in the packaging of the milk, for example, this milk Almarai, this one low fat, this one. So that is I, capital U, meaning international unit. So Sir Sotero, how can we convert that to grams, to milligrams, to micrograms, to picograms, to megagrams, to nanograms, to milligrams, to kilograms? Use, as I told you, use the prefixes. I told you over and over again. While you are still in high school, memorize all the prefixes from 10 negative 1 to 10 negative 18, 10 positive 1 to 18 para pasok sa banga. Di mo maglibog during conversion. Especially mga giga-giga, miga-miga, nano-nano, micro-micro, like that. Pita-pita, tira-tira, like that. Tira meaning 10 to the 15. 10 to the 12 lang siya. 10 to the 15 lang ang peta. Okay? Convert 25 petagram to nanogram. O nga. Because you don't know the prefix in math. Okay, pagkaglibot. Okay. What if no open book in the examination? And there's no data, narotin mong data. So, di ka katubag. Diba? So, memorize as early as now the prefixes if you are engineering student. Okay? The prefixes from 10 to the negative 1. I share this to you because I do this when I was in college. Okay? 10 to the negative 1 up to 10 to the negative 18. Okay? 10 to the positive 1 up to 10 to the positive 18 until exa. Okay? So 10 to the 18 is exa. So you will say exagram, exameter, meaning 10 to the 18 meter, 10 to the 18 gram. So that is exagram. So during conversion, it's very easy to calculator kalas. Ganon. Diba? Nanogram. Nano is always the units of particle size, especially in the topic of screening in unit operations. Okay, screening, if you have to deal with the particle size, diameter of the mesh, something like that, and you need to deal with the diameter, something like that, and expressed usually by nanograms, micrograms, like that. Okay, you got the point? Mga ganun-ganun siya. Okay? Gagamay na kasi ng particle. Okay? Or inhalable dust, respirable dusts, for the chemical hazards dusts. So it's expressed also in micrograms, ganun, because that is too tiny. Okay, so it raised to the power negative na siya. Okay, you got the point, something. Okay, so take this example. 1 international units, the equivalent is 0.67 milligrams. Right? Mabunin siya. Review na niyo guys ha. Ato siyang i-analyze ha. Okay. So if I have, nakakaloka. So, mag-convert data. So, 4,000 pound. Okay, naman ko nakitaan po, ni flashback sa akong memory. Sometimes mag-guess, din ako siya i-memorize, may flashback ra ba? Okay, you got the point? Okay, na ako nakitaan na pasok sa akong brain cells, ano sa siya ay 4,000 IU equals to 100 micrograms. Atong i-prove, right? So basically, this 100 micrograms is equal to 0.67 milligrams. If it is equal, then something wrong with my retaining in my brain cells. I have to adjust, right? So 4,000 international units, ano din mo siya. So 1 international unit is equals to, let's say, 0.67 milligrams. So 0.67 milligrams. So milligrams. Okay. Now, milligrams. Okay, 1 milligram, meaning to say 10 times negative 3 gram. Okay. Na ipadumi mo siya sa microgram, mahimo ko na siya 100. So meaning to say, ang akong brain cell sakto. If di na siya mahimo 100, meaning ang akong pag-memorize or pag-flashback sa akong brain cell sayo. Akong retention, memory retention. Okay? You got the point. So my memory retention says 4,000 IU is equals to 100 microgram. Let's prove this by having the conversion factor of 4,000 international units equals to 0.67 milligrams. So let's check, right? So 1 milligram, okay. Ipahimo mo siyang micro. You got the point? Mga palangga akong hitad. Ganon. Okay. So let's go into the grams. So grams na mabilin. Grams na mabilin. O grams to microgram na ka. Okay, so micro is 10 to the negative 6. So 10 raised to the power negative 6 gram is equal to 1 microgram. So calculator, please. If this is 100, meaning my brain cells is correct. But in my memory, but if it is wrong, I have to adjust. That's why I calculate. You get the point? Ganon siya basta math, ba? Kamo lang ka mo drive sa math, makuha mo ka. Sige ka, cum laude, ikaw may cum laude, ikaw may student. Okay, you get the point. Okay. You get the point? So, ganon. Ano ko rin siya pagpasok sa banga? Okay. Guys, nasa akong technique sa una kasi. Ano gali guys, no? Ako i-cancel. Okay, pero ako nang mahinumduman. Di ba, kung nakay negative 3 sa taas, dinam sa kayo negative 6, waan yung mga negative 6 sa ubus. I-cancel sa mo negative 3 sa taas, mahinunan siya negative 3 sa ubus. But mahadlok mo po kasi hindi niya mapasok sa banga. So, I don't know lang po na buhaton, pero sure, mawala na siya po, based ako memory po. Okay? Okay, common mo na siya, less common factor. Okay, di ba? LCF, data sa atong elementary math. Less common factor, less common denominator, di ba mga ganon-ganon? Okay, atong timan-an sa mga less common ana niya, can be divided by this number, ganon. Greatest common factor, GCF. Less common denominator, ganon-ganon. Less common factor. Mo man siya, ma-apply mo siya sa exponential form. Okay, especially the exponential form are all even. Can be divided by something. 6 can be divided by 3, right? So if you try to 6 divided by 3, 2. So, paano mo usa? Mahimula na siyang 3. Ganon. Okay? Ano ba sa exponential? Imo mo na siyang basta ang exponent sa taas o sa ubos, imo mo na siyang i-add, no? Ang yung exponent sa ubos na negative, hindi mo siyang positive. Ano na siya? 10 to the negative 3 plus 10 to the positive 6. Ang kami negative 6 sa ubos, mahimo siyang positive 6 because imo be transposed in the upper portion. This is the topic of fraction, right? Improper fraction and proper fraction. Ganon. So, negative 3 plus 6 is equal to 10 exponential to the positive 3. Ano na siya? Kasi sa ito pa kilo siya. Okay? Or 1,000 gram. Meaning 1 kilogram. Right? Supposedly, in this calculation, I never do use that in the benefit of the doubt kasi malibog doon pa. Okay, alam namin. Hindi kita bright of lahat. Charot! Okay. Ganon. Disclaimer yung ko anak. Makapalo ka. Okay. So, 0.67 okay, times ganon. Times exponent 3 negative. O, diba? Okay. 4,000 times 0.67 pasok sa banga times 10 exponent to the negative 3 is equal to ganon. Divided by 10 exponent negative 6. Pila ang answer? Muna siya yung metabo. So, dili siya 100. Micrograms mo din na ano. Ikan pa sa micrograms, grams mo din ako. Kaloka. O, diba? O. So, dito pa na siya Okay. So, ako pa na siya i-convert of something. Okay? Ganon. So, muna siya yung metabo. Okay, guys? So, anak na siya. Okay, ato na siya i-convert. Okay. Ang answer niya, anong higayon na kay Kuan? Okay? Kaya kung yung kag megagram, taas ka sa kayo. Mga 0.67 megagram, taas kayo yung level sa vitamin D. More posible sa kayo, may megagrams more than kilograms. Yung practical man siya, diba? So, it should be the micro. Kaya duha naman na siya, it could either be micro or it could be the mega. Small letter M is micro, nakatong pinakalinis nga M, dili pinamakdo nga M ba, na mubaw ang tumoy. Okay? Katong talinis nga kuan, micro, ano na yung symbol. Ano ito? Talinis nga M. Chuk, chuk. Murag mu ba? Mu. So, sa kuan pala siya, coefficient of fraction sa physics pa. Okay, fractional coefficient of fraction. Yan mo opposite sa imong kuan normal force. Kung imong i-push nga dito ang tension force, di ba? Yan mo opposite din ang fraction, ang anak naman kay coefficient of friction ana basta na mga fractional force, okay? Muna siya ang coefficient of friction mu, nga siya nga symbol sa physics. Right? Nya. Kani siya micro din siya dili siya katong m. Katong capital M mo to siya ang kuan mega 10 to the 6 amo to siya ang ano, mega. Mega man na siya ang capital M. Megawatts. MW. 1,000 megawatts. 1,000 times 10 to the 6 watts. Kaya kung small siya letter M, okay, mini gina siya. Small M, hindi na siya micro, kaya talinis man ang micro. Okay? Ang McDo din nga letter M, wala din na siya kay small letter M man nilire, hindi mo siya katong big nga ana man ang McDo, dako nga M nga pinabaw ang tumoy. Okay, you get the point? Yan ang kaning mega M man siya nga talinis ang tumoy. So dili ni siya mao ang McDo kay McDo to talinis. Kani siya McDo nga gamay nga dili talinis ang tumoy. Muna siya letter M, small letter M. So mo siya ang milli. Okay? So it could be mini, kaya di man to siya kuan. Di man to siya talinis o tumoy. Gabi ko nagtuon sa una, ang ano kumutuon sa ako siya tukion guys ang mga appearance. Para masabtan jud ako ba. Dugaya lagi ako magtuon guys. Ikabasa na ko anino ako sa siyang ikuan tanawon sa usas na siya ana ba. Di na ako palabyon kay makasabot jud ko sa bawat terminology. Ganon. Okay. Mo say makapuyan ko matuka ako. Makapuyan ko ba? Ako kibog kabuntang natog na rin ko niya kung mga notebook na sa akong mahindaanan, nagkuan-kuan, nagkatagkatat ng libro sa lamisa. Ay naman ko yung mini library sa akong room. Akong kabinet-kabinet ba ako pa dito ang mga notebook, algebra, trigonometry, pina-organize, di ba? Chemistry, physics, organic chemistry, chemical process and industries, unit operation, chemical engineer's handbook, chemical engineering reaction kinetics, ng mga libro-libro. Ako yung panglain ang mga libro, ang mga notebook, ang mga handouts sa chemistry. Ako na siya i-segregate sa mga compartment. Di na ako siya isagol-sagol para nagkatuon ako. Makuan na rin. Mura mo siya gusto niya, nagkatuon ako. Makamuduka man ko. Matugra ko, magwatak-watak na nagkabuntang. Mabawa sa pag-arrange. Ana, makatugra ko. Wala nang tuon. Ana ra. Okay. So, hindi mo hilig kung mga teleseries, mga TV, kung kunara naman sa tanaw TV. Okay? Pero magkatakanta na dyan noon ko. Okay? Ganon. Mga to, pag chemistry quest ball, dali na kayo. Pasok sa banga na yun. Champion! Sorry! Sorry guys, this is to motivate students also. Okay, like that. Okay, so if you do that way, you can harvest beautiful fruit. Especially, for example, if you are representing your school, and then that will be an integrity in the image of your school that you win with particular, quiz bowl, like that, blah, 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 so and so. especially journalism, something like that. Okay, you bring the name of the school if you win the easy writing, editorial writing, something like that. Okay? So, ganon. Diba? So, ganon. Ano siya guys ha? I-motivate ang inyong mga utok na nindot na dyan kayo inyong mga kuan. Then you have to develop and utilize it and enhance it more and more. Ganon. Kaya nag-excel dyan ka. Gawas dyan ka sa outlet. Kung mo na imong school, kailan mo, imo dyan i-maximize imong ko na, pwede ba ka kumusang ka sa uban? Char! Di ba? Ganon, hindi ka mahadlok. Ana-ana, okay? You get the point? Na, para mga mga regional level, mga ganon, division level sa mga contest. Okay? You get the point? So, ana siya. Yung mga naman ang 4,000 international units of vitamin D will be equal to 0.67 milligrams. Ganon. I-review po ninyo guys kasi nasa iyo pa ko. Diba? Because all people are subject for imperfection. Ganon. Only God is perfect. Okay. You get the point? Anak siya. Try. Diba? Okay. Now, ano ang formula sa vitamin D2? Kasi mga palangka, C27H44O. Atong timanan guys na ang number sa Naga nga sakyanan 44. San Fernando 45. Carcar 46. Di ba sa una na nga number. So, kung maingon tag vitamin D2 lang, basta na siya naga nga number of D3 kina may 44 sa hydrogen. So, muna yung usa sa identification, naga ra ba siya mga kuan sa kinan. Ano na siya sa vitamin D sa tunga-tunga sa hydrogen. Naon mo ba para madali mong memorization. Okay, anak. Imo ni parison of 27. Anak, permi. Yung kani siya 27, para dali mo mahimduman ni siya. Imo ni siya i-barometer, iparehas mo sa cholesterol. Okay, ang cholesterol mo to siya kanang tinugdan. 27 sa gaya to siya. Okay. Pare-parehan ni siya kadul atom sa cholesterol no, sa vitamin D niya na inaga nga number sa hydrogen. So dili kay makuha nimo ang chemical formula sa vitamin D2. Basi ana ko pamutana, calculate the number of moles of vitamin D2 when the gas is passing to the venturimeter. In an ideal gas air, calculate with a universal gas constant. Gamitan mo PV and RT. Computer mo ang number of moles. Ang dihatag ito, vitamin D2, aktibo sa formula. Diba? So you should know the formula so that you can apply that in the ideal gas law equation. Things like this. So, pwede mo rin mo makonect. Kaya substances man na siya, it will behave ideally lang muna, interact with the air, kaya ideal gas man ang air, ano siya, reaction na yun, plus, ikapalag na, okay, kaya hindi ba sa tanang parang na air, dyan may MPV and RT, pwede mo na sa reaction, kuha niyo na mga oxygen gas, apply ba, basta as long as the condition is behaving in ideality condition, we need to see the compressibility factor Z is equal to 1. Okay, Z is equal to PV, MRT. Molecular this is the compressibility. If the compressibility factor will reach to 1, that is ideal gas. Okay, but if the compressibility factor is less than Z or higher than Z, it's non-ideal. Okay, meaning imo itong gamitan katong usa Van der Waals gas equation na may mga pressure fraction, volume fraction. So dili na siya ideal gas. So ay pag-solve permi sa ideal gas, kaya dili na ba siya wala na siya na behave ng ideal gas. Muna na siya ang theory. Muna niyon ko yung makasabot nito sa theory of concept, di ka mapataka kay na ay mga limitation ang kana siya mga kuana, mga formula aturo na siya apply dito. Okay? Naka nilista na sa wanang compressibility factor. Sila niya pag-subsol kaya bigay gas ka nang nadito tanan, mga nitrogen, oxygen. Matay ang zinc, sobra ba ay nagamit ideal gas no. Kaskas sa mo oras. Diba? Muna siya akong point na we need to know the concept, the theory and the principles, and the formulas and calculations will follow. Okay, buang sa kay hatang examination lisod na lang maway makapasa. Diba? Zero. Kung ang atong mentality lisod jud kay exam, so if that is the case, wala makapasa. Okay, so it could have been average and a little above average, yun ay siya difficult. Diba? Ganon! Mentality and positivism. Okay, that's the point. Ganon siya. So nakasuway na ba kuan pero dili siya kuan guys, dili siya board exam. Okay, chemistry quiz board to siya sa kuan. Sa among eskwelahan ba? Calculate ano yun Charles Law. Nakakaloka. Di ba Charles Law, Gay-Lussac's Law, Boyle's Law, katong mga idea ga, combined gas law. Magagalan ba? Nya. Tagaan kang problem. Nya. Saka ka sa eskwelahan good na. Okay? Siyempre, bakuha dyan mo kay kabaw naman ka, di ba? So, pag ang chemistry high school, guys, dili pa mo kaya siya complicated. Chemistry high school is not as complicated in college. Because sa college, kailan na mo yung mga grabe na yung kayo. You know what I mean? Okay, that's the point. Nakakaloka. Okay, anak. Sige, balik ta. So, vitamin D2 mo na siya yung tabo, no? O, ano ka? 27, H44, o. Kaya doon naman siya sa cholesterol na C27H46O. Okay, may nusa nagduha ko ano, which is ito nga, cholesterol ni, hindi ka lang vitamin dito, nawakang duha. Anak. Okay niya. Ang katay mong D3, so ang sa niyong papasok sa mga, doon na siya sa dito, anak po na nasa mong usang karon, C28H44O. Hindi na mo tagtama ng 44, kaya pareho na siya ng vitamin D. Imate na yung usang ka tikang, D3 dayon. Hindi ka-memorize na yung mapabilis yung brain cells. Okay, kay naman kay i-consider nga kuan, wa man nimo gi-plain memorize. Okay, good na point. Ganon. Ana, di mo sa minumduman ng oxygen yun na niya, walay atom. Okay, so nauna din kag mga chemical formula nga walay atom ng oxygen. Gamay ra ba kaya sila? Minumduman din mo. Di sama ang kuan wa siya mga kuan sa pata ng mga H2N2O, nitrosamine, carcinogen or carcinogenic substance nga naa sa mga karni. H2N2O, di ba? Wala siya kuan ang oxygen. So, ini ka memorize nimo, maguna na dito mga chemical formula nga walay atom ang oxygen. First talk sa imong memory ba? Kuan to no mga nitrosamine, cholesterol, vitamin D2, vitamin B3. So, puno na siya dito sa imong brain cells. Hindi ka, lahi man to kailangan ito naga nga number 44 sa tunga. Ang katong mga vitamin. Dili na kaya, ang katong cholesterol, kaya ba makananta siya 27 niya. Sudlan natin mo 27, kaya mawala man dito. Dili kaya memorize. Okay? Ana siya. Okay? Dili kaya, hindi mo siya i-claim. Okay, plain memorization. Okay, mawa dito ana. Okay, ito po. Sige, ito po, ana siya. Okay, now go back to ang itong vitamin D. Okay, vitamin D2 mo na siya gitawag na itong ergo-calciferol. Charot. Ergo-calciferol. Ganan. Ang atong vitamin D3, mo na gitawag na ito cholecalciferol. Okay, Calciferol. Now, note the terminology. There is calci, meaning calcium. It has to collaboration and a partnership of calcium absorption. Okay? So, klaro kayo. Okay. If the question in the exam will say, what vitamin that cooperates with calcium to achieve a healthy bone? Yeah, fill in the blanks na dayon. Yung answer, vitamin D dayon ay napapaabot sa multiple choice. Diba? Ganon. Kung may multiple choice, dali na kayo, vitamin D dito. Perfect. Diba? Ganon. Okay, so muna siya may tabo pasok sa banga. Now, if you don't want to put this generally, you can have the number chupa-chucho also. So, kaming vitamin D mo na siya itawag 25 hydroxy vitamin D2. Ipuno na library. Huwag kang mga number mga naming. Okay? Most of siya ang vitamin D mo. 25, you should remember the 25. Okay? 25 hydroxy. Okay? Iba sa tema ng hydroxy na pirmi. Ipuno ka mo ang vitamin. Okay? Vitamin D3. In your memorization. Okay, vitamin D3. Wala na siya. Para na siya sa kulit-kulit calciferol. Kasi pareho na sa ergo-calciferol. Okay, ganon. Yan, nakadila inversion. Kung di pa ka matagbaw. Napagay, 25 hydroxy. Isumpot na po ninyo mo. Kung dito ka hydroxy ergo-calciferol, mas siya vitamin B2. Yan, 25-hydroxycholecalciferol, muna siya ang vitamin D3. So, there are three ways how to name vitamin D2 and vitamin D3. Okay, but still, this is not yet the vitamin D. This is still the raw material or the precursors or the drivers to have the vitamin D later on. Pumapasok na siya dito sa bloodstream, sa liver, sa kidney. Okay, ganon. O, diba? So, muna siya ang mga other term na chupa-chucho. Now, inong sabto na dito siya duha. This is the, this is still another name for ways. Grabe no, for ways ang pag-name. Grabe yung no? So, another name pa dyan niya, pwede naman siya tawagan o Calcidiol. Okay, why di? Because 2. Vitamin D2. Pwede sa niya ang vitamin D3, tawagan mo siya o Calcitriol. Because naman siya 3. Like that. 3 means tri. So, alam hindi siya, kaya general ka kaya siya, kung usahay lang mo, muli ko yung question, at least naka-eding ang muna siya. Example, another, which of the following is an Calcidiol? Ano lang ka-simple? A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin D2. O, vitamin D2 mo answer. O, diba? Anak ba? Okay? Kasi gano'n, magawas na siya sa kanang mga related to nutrition, mga type na contest, biology, mga gano'n ba? Okay, not too much with chemistry, kanang maghalo siya sa biology. Okay? It relates to something na mga health science, na mga kanang mga pagkaon ba, magdadag mga pagkaon ng mga bata. Nutrition math, nga mga question. Blank is the lack of vitamin D. What disease will be obtained? Ano din? A, blah blah blah, B, blah blah blah. The answer will be rickets. Okay, kay mga children pa man, mga bata. Ang question nga nasa ng style. Okay. Blank is a disease for the adult lacks of vitamin D. Your answer will be osteoporosis or osteomalacia. Kung wala nito ang osteomalacia, ang mo answer osteoporosis. Kung wala nito ang osteoporosis, ang mo answer osteomalacia. Na kung naa ang duha, it could have been, the question will be revised to specific. Because osteomalacia is the softening of the bone. Okay? Before it will be weakened and cracked, it will first be softened. Right? So, when you say osteoporosis, it's already weakening. It's not yet cracked also. Okay? Because, or else, if it become cracked, it will become amputated. Or it will become dislocated or disconnected, the bone. So, meaning kasi weakening lang ang osteoporosis. And then, osteomalacia is softening. If the question doesn't state softening and weakening, it's either the osteomalacia or osteoporosis your answer, because the question is only telling blank is a disease known to have deficiency in vitamin D man. So general man siya. So it could have been, the answer will be one only as long as pasok sa banga. Okay? You get the point. Ana siya kung multiple choice. Na kung ang duha, ang specific dayon ka. In which that is the time na maglibog na kakimo maor ba ng duha. This is based sa vitamin D. So, ito na kamo po sa softening, sa weakening, gano'n. Nga terminology, English matters na. Okay? But the point at the time. Okay, man akong yun, mo hold through ang plain memorization. You get the point? Gano'n siya. Okay, so vitamin D3 and vitamin D2. Gano'n. Okay. Now, kano saan sila siya tawag o calcifediol? Kanina, nag-ibog ko ani guys, ang talad akong sabot. Sorry. Okay, sa akong usa ka source guys, ang kanang calcifediol ko no, kani silang duha. Calcifediol. Mo silang duha. Kailan man to kay calcidiol mo to rin na, di ba? Walay fee. Kani Calcifediol. So calcifediol means both vitamin D2 and vitamin D3. So that this calcifediol will be converted to later onto calcitriol, which is now the vitamin D, which is the 1,25. This is now dihydroxy. So when you speak about vitamin D, di na lang siya. Dihydroxy. Why di? Because 1, 25, so 2, the di. Okay? Kaya siya, hydroxylase siya, kay 25 naman siya, wala siya 1 na kama. So the di would represent the numbers you put how many. For example, I will put 1, 25, 3, that is trihydroxy. But in this case, duha naman, sa akong dihydroxy kay 125 naman siya, 1 and 25. Okay. 125 dihydroxy vitamin D na siya. Okay. D naman siya. As vitamin D, din naman siya kung may subscript 2, subscript 3. Okay? So vitamin D. So 125 dihydroxy vitamin D. Okay. Or 125 dihydroxycalciferol. Okay. Get the point? Sila naman yung duha. Ilan diangkot ng duha, whether it is through dito or D3. Ganon. Okay. Kaya siya, mahitabo na niya siya, dito na niya siya sa metabolism on the kidney part after sa liver. Okay, di ba? Ikuha na siya liver dito, no, i-metabolize, di ba? Ang vitamin D, auto na siya, the vitamin D will go to the bloodstream. Something like that. And after it go to the bloodstream, it will transported. Until it will go to the liver. If go to the liver, maghihimo na ito siya may ngani na 25 hydroxy vitamin D1, and then after it will go to the kidney, mausap na sa kanyang pangalan because of the enzyme hydroxylase. Hydroxylase. Kung nalaman na siya alpha hydroxylase enzyme, niya dawaton sa cell acceptance of the cell receptor of the kidney because each vital organ has its own cell receptor, meaning a recipient of any substances. That's why it's called cell receptor. Okay, so once it is accepted, pasok sa banga, okay, by that kind of enzyme, because the enzyme will catalyze the reaction, it's either catalyze or inhibit. But in this case, catalyze the reaction. Okay, during the catalyzation of the reaction, so there's an enzymatic acceleration between the cells, like in the kidney. Gidawat na no, cell receptor. So, mahimo din siya, mo ni siya. So, 125 dihydroxycalciferol, mo na siya ang vitamin D. So, by the way, what is the equivalent level? Mo ang saan na siya? 125 dihydroxycalciferol or 125 dihydroxy vitamin D or calcitriol. Ganon. Okay? Malibog sa gano'n kay, di ba, ang calciferol, dapat calciferol pa siya ang puno niya, kay magunin niyang kuan, kay magunin kay sa material pa magunin calciferol, chupa-chucho, din na magunta sa last, magunin mo din siyang calcitriol. So pag, when this vitamin D na calcitriol na siya, yung ani siya nga dihydroxy, it will now become an active biological hormone na siya, aside from being a vitamin. Okay, so na siya dual characteristic. So it will become a hormone to activate the cells there in the peripheral. Because the peripheral nervous system extends to the different parts of the vital organs. Na siya yung mga nerve cells na mo, adto sa liver, adto sa kidney, adto sa taas siya ba kay, di ba ang central nervous system focusing only to the brain and to the spinal column, ang brain cells na natong mga neurons. Ang kuan, ang peripheral nervous system, kaya ano siya, nervous system composed of central nervous system, the CNS, and the peripheral nervous system, the PNS. The peripheral nervous system composed of the nerve cells which branches off up to the different parts of the body. Okay, maabot siya sa tiil, maabot siya sa kamot, maabot siya sa liver, maabot siya sa kidney. So, dito yung mga nerve cells na connection dito sa atong peripheral sa neurons, padulong dito sa brain. Okay? So, muna siya ang nahitabo. Nagdagandagan mo na dito ang vitamin D, mga ganon. O, diba? Pasok dito sa mga tendons, sa ligaments. Naman, strong na itong bone, kaya mag-i-absorb ang calcium. Diba? So, nito kasi, di siya maka-healthy bone kung hindi mo atake si calcium. Ang kaning si vitamin D. Kaya mo man yung purpose, doon makuha din yung gagawin niya mga secondary function. But in case sa main function, hindi niya ma-main function ang katong bone kung hindi mo appeal si calcium. Kasi yung secondary function, hindi ba necessary si calcium mo appeal? Katong siya nga, reduce inflammation, reduce high blood pressure, di ba? Reduce to fight cancer and other immuno-function diseases. Reduce the risk of cardiovascular diseases. It doesn't mean to connect to the bone. Muna mo appear ang calcium. So, pwede na wala si calcium dito. Na kung ato ta sa main function mo refer, naman si calcium. Okay? So, dili siya dependent atong other secondary and tertiary functions of vitamin D. Sa main function, mawala na si calcium, so mo useless si vitamin D sa main function niya. But napagyapon siya secondary, tertiary functions, katong gipaingon ninyo. Okay? Kaya daghan man siya functions guys, dili man kay sa bones ra siya ang vitamin D. Pero mo na yung main, mo collaborate siya sa phosphorus o sa calcium absorption. I-regulate gud niya pa sa atong lawas. Ganon. Okay. Muna siya ang last mo, vitamin D na siya. So kung wala enzymes, wala dyan may tabo. Okay, good. Hydroxylase, alpha hydroxylase. Okay, sa final stage siya vitamin D. Ganon. Okay, ganda pa mga palangga pungitan. Muna siya. Okay. So ang kanang i-general lang itong mga formula para di ta maglibog. Ano na yun? Okay, so vitamin D2, ato i-find sa general formula, di ba? So C27H44O. Vitamin D3, C28H44O. Cholesterol, C27H46O. So mga oo, mga kuana, be careful, kaya dili siya ma-oxidize isa atong lawas kung ma-oxidize ganyan siya. Then problem for the free radicals. Okay, you need antioxidants also, such as vitamin C, flavonoids, polyphenols, other nutrients na siya mga antioxidative property foods. Masama na siya ka ng mga orange. Naman siya mga antioxidative properties like tomato, contains lycopene, apple, contains pectinase, mga ganon-ganon. Okay, the point, grapes contains quercetin hormone. Something like this. So, na siya mga antioxidant. So, meaning to say, na siya mga OH sa iyong formula. O, ito gitawag ng antioxidant tungkol sa siya OH, no? Mo react sa oxygen loan per sa vitamin D2, vitamin D3. Okay? Okay. Kuyaw-kuyaw man siya. Okay? Ma-imbalance dito ba? Nagana kay oxygen, katatan dito. When Paris, unstable oxygen. Muna ito yung sa mga cell damage, mga ganon, inflammation, problem. Okay? Note the point. So, kanina mga OG, oxygen-auxiliary, muli-react na siya sa ubang substances. Okay? Kung naman niya siya guys, non-polar. Oh, sorry, polar na siya. Okay? Sorry. Polar man ang na-excess. Non-polar ang y-excess na electrons. Kaya kung doon permigod na guys, no, kung kipasok sa akong brain cells, ang hydrocarbon jod. Kaya kanang hydrocarbon, non-polar compound yun na siya. Meaning, completely shared electrons of the carbon to hydrogen. Mo yun akong gipasok sa banga. Now, once it will become a non-polar, it is highly flammable. That's why all hydrocarbons are flammable. No exemption. Muna basic concept. So, muna i-expect mo sa side, dili na ka mag-worry na. Once it is a fuel, flammable na yun na siya because it contains only carbon and hydrogen by technical theory. Ganon. So, di na ka mag-pakli pa sa MSDS, mag-research, pakita naman ka-idea that if it is composed of carbon and hydrogen and then non-polar covalent bond because the electrons are completely shared by following the Lewis theory of reduction and oxidation chemical reactions, then that is highly flammable or not less flammable but not non-flammable. Ganon. Okay? So, ano ka na? Flashpoint is the necessary for this. Okay, so flash point, what is flash point? It is a minimum temperature of the combustible gas and vapor, okay, to produce a flash of fire in the presence of ignition sources, right? So it's gonna be the lesser the flash point, then the higher flammability, something like that, okay? You get the point. So you would take the inversely proportional relationship between the flash points and the flammability. Okay, you will say Fp is inversely proportional to 1 over F. Then F is your flammability or your fire hazards, in which your Fp stands for flash point. So the lower the flash point is having a unit of measurement of temperature. Okay? So the lower your flash point, the higher the flammability. Things like that. And how can you get to the common sense? Because at a lower temperature, when it is burned immediately, meaning that it's highly flammable. Imagine at a lower temperature, it will just ignite immediately and burn. See? So meaning to say, at a lower flash point, it will have a higher flammability. Yung uban man, maglibog pa man, manang sila, kung taas ang flash point, taas ang flammability. How come na? It is flashman. Verb. Noun. So flash, ganon. Yan, kung taas kayo yung temperature, wala siya so, gawin siya flammability, common sense ba? Okay, you got the point? So you should dig the word flash, and you also dig the word point. Okay, point is the limit where it starts to do the action verb. Something like the point. Okay, this is the point that you can hit the high note. Oh, that is the point. So, ato ka dito mo bilit. Ganon. Mora sa din siya. Ato sa siya ito mo flash kung ma-reach niya ang point na temperature 10 degree, 20 degree, like that. Okay? Ganon. English matters a lot. Okay? In interpreting the examination questions. You get the point sa analysis. Ganon. Para maka-establish ka mga conditions and assumptions how to solve and your basis of calculations in your problem solving. Okay? Ana siya. Ano mo, follow ka itong mga given, required, what is being asked, formula, solution. Yeah. Before going to the solution, sketch muna. Sketch para masabtan. Sketch, drawing yun mo, second one. Para the sketch and the flow charts will help you to analyze the problem. Right? So muna ang mga math chuba-chucho. Especially kung yung mga processes, mag-drawing ka. Okay? But kung hindi siya mag-record mga processes, pwede na may so, laglag itong mga algebra lang. X lang. Wala mo na siya kung ano yung mga illustrate mo ng mga input, output, like this. Di ba? Wala naman na yung anak. So baka so man, x, y sa power 2 is ito yung mga polynomials in algebra, right? Dili na naman nila ng mga kuan mga processes o mga equipment chuba-chucho. So dito kayo mga kuan-kuan, di ba? Follow lang kasi yung mga mechanics, rules, how to do it, nga ikon-kuan pero nimo. But sa science dili ing ana, na-educate ka lang kung anon ba nga una mo behaving ana, nakaytiman-an nga theory, concepts and principles. Dili na siya matabang og sequencing, patterning, ni mo siya imao-mao ba? Okay? Muna yung difference sa math o science. Kaya ang math, madala raman nimo i-sequence, isunod-sunod ra nimo ba na mauna na pirmi. You got the point? Kana mag-gapra ka na sa mga abstract reasoning exam. 2, 4, 6, 8, kasi sunod. Di ba? Patterning raman na, sequencing raman na. But in science, it cannot be like that always. It should be with theory. Sometimes gini mo, dao with ang theory kaysa mga sobra ka na usahay na nakuha niyo sa formula, but hindi lang gyapon mao because wa siya mo meet ato nga principle number 1, principle number 2, even though you have the formula used. But the only difference is the formula you use is not applicable to the principle 1, principle 2, principle 3. But in all your substitution, sakto din siya tanan, but may buong ka na sayo lang ka because di siya applicable ato. Okay. Ito kung yung example nga, nag-solve ka ideal gas law, okay, by Clausius-Clapeyron equation, okay, sa physical chemistry FICHEM. And then ang imong gas is non-ideal gas. Don't you think applicable ang ideal gas sa non-ideal gas? Then use the other equation of non-ideal gas, katong Van der Waals equation. Right? Wala pa kayo napatudlo sa college ang non-Van der Waals. Ako rin na siyang gi-research. Though gitudlo na siya, pero dili ka siya reject because nakafocus sa ideal gas ang mga maestra. Sorry guys ha, I'm telling the truth only. In chemical engineering, nakafocus sa ideality. Dili siya makafocus sa other side ba. Dapat unta kumutudlo ta ako sa i-stress ang iyang separate, opposite para during examination, nanatay idea nga ang opposite di mo guwa, umunganga atong estudyante. If we are really helping the students, for example, if I am the professor of the university, if my purpose only is to share my knowledge to my students, I would not think for money. I will think for my fulfillment that the more I share my knowledge to them, the reputation will come in me. Money is exemption to that. That's fulfillment. Okay? So I will expand my teachings even though not in the coverage of the lesson. Something like that. Kung napay time, as much as I could. Tudluan mo sila another way or another approach how to solve that problem. Dili mo siya i-keep sa imong kagaling. Kaya mamatay na lang ka, dili mo i-share yung knowledge sa uban. You're too selfish. What if you will share your knowledge to the young generation? Tapos magamit pa na nila, okay, to create an invention in the future in science. Sa mga renewable sources, non-renewable sources na magamit sa itong economy, state of life. Dili kung ikaw bright kay imo ra nang i-keep sa imong kagalingon, dili mo i-share. So ano kung kay imong pagka-bright, dili mo ma-share sa humanity. So you are not feeling relevant to the community and the society if you are keeping your knowledge by yourself. You should share that because at the time mamatay na ka, it's a fulfillment on your part that you share your intelligence to other people or to younger students so that you can use that also, that technique. Mas ano man ani mo, di ba? You are having the investment already. You have already the money in your life. Or you have already the business. Happy family life. So ano man naman mo knowledge, you share it. Di ba? That's the point. Things like that. But sad to see, gamay rin kayo mo share. Siguro, mag-listen po siguro sa share. Kaya hindi masagutan ng kita ka-gef how to discuss properly, how to share properly. And that also God gave the talent of, communication skills also. Because to be honest with you guys, not all engineers can speak fluently in English also. They are also good only in written examination. And I doubt also most of the super intelligent cannot speak very well in English, average only. Okay, you can find good instructors in average people rather than too much intelligent. Why? Because when they discuss every time, they will assume that the students have the same level with their thinking. So every time they will discuss, they will go direct. They will never go in the detailed way, in the systematic way, because they assume their students have the same intelligent with them. So that's why that's an advantage if your instructor is very brilliant, is very smart, because they always go direct in their discussion. Whereas if you give instructors who are average only, or a little above average, sakto lang siya, yung explanation na pinakuha dyan ba? Pina-systematize, like that, because he has the feeling that when he is a student before, he was a student before, he shares the same feeling. Okay, that's why kung instructor na siya, he should share the right way, the degree and the amount of teachings that he can share to the students, something like that. Okay, but anak na siya dapat. Okay, hindi kayo puro na kwarta. Gamay magsulod, tarong tudlo. Ay nako, nakakaloka. Sige pagkalit sa classroom, yung mamaligyan din mga estudyante, sugo baligyan sa baro, sugo mga baligyan mga gatas. Hindi na siya necessary ba? Hindi ba? Dapat mo go sa discussion proper. Ganun, hindi kayo na mabaligya sa kuan. Hindi ba? Sugo baligya o mga kuan as candy sa classroom. Tagahanog ka naman. Tagahanog mga kanang chicharon o imo niya, itindan ni. Uy, nakakaloka. Dapat yung anak mo niya tanay anak ko mga resist na Jude. Liman kayo nag wala ko nag-mention ng maestra ha. Okay? Igasudin mo sa 7 o'clock. Tagaan din ka na yung unsay yung ibaligya. Mauni o Sotero mo yung ibaligya. Salvaro Ago. O, ibaligya ni ang candy. Mga ani. Hindi rin muna sa academic mo. Unahon ang kalamay yung anak. Tinda-tinda. Negosyo na kayo una. Yan sa college sad, ang mga instructor po doon, sigbaligya ako mga notes. Wala may problema anak, no? Pero magsigilang kagbaligya mo na, di na mo talagang tudlo. Murag nahukag kaya po nga, so mani, kwarta-kwarta naman niya. Okay, naman ka tayo complete no, so di mo kaabot rin sa ikaunong nga page. Maabtan na lang sa second semester. Huwag matouch ang ikalimang nga page, ikaunong nga page, o ikapito nga page. Dito na, exam. O saray sample problem, no? Exam, tagaan ko atariwa dito. Siyempre, mga mo estudyante kay wag ko tunay mo gituloy ng ato nga style tapos imong kuanon. Di ba? Imong itagaag mga ligwak kanang mo sibak ba? For example, ang imong topic density. Yung mo kalit lang kag ng connect dito sa viscosity. Abi ka na may density nga question related dito. Unya imong sample problem gihatag duha ra ka buok nya mo balik related ra atong kunya wa jud ka introduce mga variety sa imong mga problem solving. Syempre maglibog imong estudyante ana siguro imong masulti pati mga variety. Hinuon jud kayo kay makakuha ana. Na what if mga average ra pod kasagaran. O di ba di tanong mo nimo imong jud i-guide sila na mo na. Pwede na nimo lisuron. Ini kay naman kay reason, ini ka exam kay imo na mo jud i-maximize imong discussion. Ituluan naman mo sila sa mga babahagi mo ni. So confident kay sila. Okay, whereas kung gusto ka lisod sa exam, wa makatarong tudlo sa sakto. Imong gitudlo ka mo sa imong kay nga sa problem nga. Direct substitution. Di ba? Ano ka dyan? Nila ko may sumang pangalan. Okay, sa college. Di man kanan guys. Okay, gamay namin anak po pero maglagot kung sa hay ba kay, di ba? Mapiktuhan ta kung quality education ba mapiktuhan ta. Most of the usay naka-drive na kung I have to study hard talaga. Okay, na yung mga instructor na dito. Labi ng mga top notcher. top number 1, ganun sa society, kasagaran tapos siya magod, mga maestro, matulog na ako, kasi magluka ka, di ka ko, matulog ako sa library, ako tukion dito. Nga di ko kasabot ko siya mutulog, mas makasabot pa ko sa libro, rather than niya, nga mutudlo. Okay, dito sura niya, labi ka itong mga tuan, unsa ka, limits ba? Limit, ganon, limit dito, upper limit, lower limit, ganon. Differentiate, integrate, mga ganon. Ay, nakakalaw, kasabot ato, pero nakasabot ako dito sa akong effort dito sa library. Okay, nauna dahil ni? Well, di ba ganon? O di ba? Anak siya, di ba? Kugi na lang yung kahili, matalan na, tarong tutudlo. Muna ma-share din ako sa vlog karon, mo-flashback sa akong memory ko kung tanong pala sa ano pala dyan, ihanay pala dyan pagtudlo, no? Dili dyan maglabi ng asoy-asoy sa mga kagahapon. Nasa yung mga instructor na nagay sa kanang, di ba? Kanang yung subject to 1 hour, mahulot na yung oras, magsigilan na siya discuss sa katong iyang uyab sa una, di siya nagtrabaho, di siya mo-focus sa katong iyang kuan dyan ba? Lesson. Ang nitabo, ang inatudlo ko sa radyon. Example, iirang basahon na katong paragraph nga mauni sa theory, ara. Di ito kion ba nga, mauni siya ang pressure because blah blah blah, so wala siya yung anak ba, no? So I miss that kind of, discussion. Asa pa man lang ito makuha. Kasagaran makuha rin ko sa katong naon din na siya, guys. Sure ko na dyan na siya. Okay? Wala ka-timing po ng mga anak ng instructor siguro. Okay, you got the point. Sa mga time, di grabe kayo ito Di mo na gamay yung score tungkol anak po. Okay, huwag makikasabot. Diba? Lahi sa kaya malipay man sila kayo na dagang magbong. Mo siya na ako kalibin sa una nga, di tanan ha, kasagaran sa college instructors, malipay sila nga, gamay kayo makapasar. Na, huy, makakuha kayo, maglakot siya kudo. Bali ba, dapat ito mabuhol kung dito makapasar ka, it will reflect to your quality of teaching, right? Nga wala kayo meaning kung wala kayo dagko kayo progrado, that means wala kayo kasabot sa imong gitudlo. You are inefficient instructor, kailangan ka dagang kayo namahagbong. So there's something wrong on how you teach. Di ba? Kaya kung may ka mo tuloy din nakakuha, tagas-tagas sa grado. Wala di perfect, basta tagas-tagas ba? Or most of them pass the exam. Okay, grabe mo ka makatulog, pina-detailed, pinakuan kayo ba mga elaborative discussion yun yung ipang buhat, ganon. So, at least ma-prove na, makalibrate ba yung performance sa instructor through the scores, diba, sa examination. Tapos kung na mga school, sa ranking, sa mga board exam, kung gamay na kinakapasa na ng school, mo reflect mo na dito, di batiin na ilang tinuluan, even though wala sila ka-eskwela niya, i-general na nila. Itungod sa performance sa rating, nagamay na kinakapasa, duha ka buok out of 20. Ay, bati mo na silang training niya sa diba? Iba lang kasi point. So muna, gusto mo yung anak ng kuhan, yung university, nagamay na kayo makapasar, so meaning yung ilang mga isa dito kayo may manulo. O diba? So may kamot dito nga atong tarungon para mo uplift ang quality education sa atong university. Ganon! Hindi kayo puro na kwarta-kwarta. Okay, gata point, anak dito siya guys, mahala na. Sorry! Uy, pasensya lang dito ang bato-bato sa langit ang tamahan wa kung magalit. Kaya di mo kamo ingana, alam mo kasuko, ha? Diba? O, low fat milk. O, diba? Ganon. Hello guys, shout out sa katong mga kuan. Si mga kuan, uy. O, mga kuan na yung vitamin D, no? Sa iyong mga functions, ako na dyan na-discuss tanan, di ba? Gusto pa yung pangutana, uy. Pangutana ko nung B, char. Imagine, ingon ako nung sorry guys, somebody tell me that I am a doctor, but I'm not a doctor. Okay? I'm just studying and researching something. Okay? Okay. In this task, kuan guys, because 2 days yun ang day off. Okay? So, in my previous companies, I have only 1 day off in a week. This is the first time that 2 days day off. That's why I enjoy so much in reading, studying. Not really that comprehensive study because I'm not a student. Just like recalling the stock knowledge, the acquired knowledge, and add more, add something. Dili siya ka na yung study dito na to pass because what may maestro mo kung grado, just only for knowledge. knowledge retention. Okay. Knowledge accumulation, ganon. O knowledge enhancement. Diba? Ganun siya nga pala gagamitan. Okay, malingaw ra kuan na. Okay, tara ko mga kuan, mga videos, pero masabtan na akong kinatibukan. Dili jud kinatibukan, kaya di mo kay kukuan kay di mo ko medical science. At least makuha na ako ba, ma-picture out lang jud na ako nga mo ni metabo, ganun. O diba? Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you can comment, you can share to anybody else, you can click the notification bell for some newest updates of I Am a Singer. Eternal Voice, thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye, God bless everybody. See you later. Mayoning, yung ano atong i-vlog, yung watay kontra. Okay? May mga marites ba? Chismosa, chismoso. O sige, bye-bye. God bless. Diba?